Hello everyone. Thanks for joining on this webinar session. So my name is Nivas. I'm working as a product analyst at Vembu Technologies. Today I'm going to be the moderator for this session. So I'm seeing some attendees are joining in the session. So we'll just give some 2 or 3 minutes to join, and then we'll start the session. So hello everyone. So I'm seeing a lot of attendees join in the session. So I think it's a time to start the session. So I'm the moderator for this webinar session. So before getting started, I'm just going to give some ground rules for the session. So all the attendees are in listen only mode. However, if you have any question during the session, you have a question box there. You just type your questions. So we are trying to address your questions in the session itself. If not, we will try to mail your queries. We'll try to answer the queries in the mail. And okay, so we'll begin the session. I just want to give a small introduction about the Vembu Technologies. So we are a backup software vendor with a decade of experience in developing the backup solution for various IT environments, and we set our footprints over 100 plus countries. And one of the most important thing that I want to convey is our support. We are providing 24/7 support to our customers, and yeah, so we are fastest growing company, and we are headquartered in Chennai. So currently, we have 4,000 plus partners across the globe, and we have 60,000 plus customers using our solution to protect their business critical data. Okay, so we'll now onwards we'll start focusing on our webinar. So the webinar topic is BCDR in 2019, the trends and the prediction. So I just introduce my presenter. So I'm having Mr. Pranav from the product management team. So he also working as a product analyst at Vembu Technologies. So he's the one who is going to take care of this webinar today. Okay, so I'm just going to brief you about the agenda, and then I'm going to hand over this session to Mr. Pranav. So okay, let's see the agenda for this webinar. So what did 2018 looks like? So we'll just go to a recap. We'll see the recap of what are the things that happened in the year 2019, the major disasters, and how the business recovered from that disaster, and the threat that we need to be make sure that these threats should not affect our business. The threats that are upcoming threats in 2019, and we'll give a small introduction about the BCDR and also how to implement the BCDR plan in your organization, and how Vembu is supporting or Vembu is helping to achieve a BCDR, a perfect BCDR plan for your organization. And later in this call, I'll give a small a demonstration of how Vembu BDR suite works. So at the end of the session, we will have a Q&A session. If you have any questions about the product or about this topic, you can ask us. We're happy to answer you to your questions. Okay, if some of the questions, if you're not able to answer a question, don't worry. We will try to address it on an email. Okay, by this, with introduction, my introduction is done. I will just hand over this call to Mr. Pranav.
Hi everyone, and initially I would like to thank Nivas for all his generous words on me. Thank you, Nivas, regarding that. And okay, so before we start with the session, and once again I'll be introducing myself. I'm Pranav, one of the product analysts of Vembu. So this session on a topic of BCDR in 2019, what are the trends and its predictions. So we are going to deal with it because it is one of the important concept that is being widely used in the globe, and many of the people are really cared about the recovery process. So hang on with that. As said by Nivas, we'll be dealing with the agenda as shown. So before I start, I just want to talk about I just go and recap some details on 2018 major attacks. So on this, I have some basic talk about threats. Before defining about this threat, I just want to know what actually the threats are. So these are the threats are nothing but anything that causes a loss. It may be a loss on your revenue side, your physical object, or maybe your loss of revenue. I mean, data. All those comes under threats. So under these threats are categorized into two types. One are due to natural causes, another are due to some artificial ones. Basically, those are human errors. In 2000, in 2018, we had the more important natural causes were Hurricane Michael and earthquake in Indonesia. So Hurricane Michael, with a wind of about 250 kilometers per hour, which hits Florida, had a revenue loss of $500,000. And in the earthquake of Indonesia, of the Lombok Island on August 2018, you had a revenue loss for all the small and medium-sized businesses, suffering a huge revenue loss on several $100 million. These, okay, fine, these are all things that we can keep it on natural causes, because these are due to unexpected disasters that occurred at the point. Whereas there are some disasters which are artificially created, that comes under human errors. And one of that is Marriott Hotel and British Airways and Equifax data breach. I don't want to go deep into that, explaining what things are, but it is all the usage of datas by hackers for uh, causing a huge loss to the hotels and airways. And even the Equifax data breach is a breach of data that happened in 2018, causing 145.5 million US consumers to have a credit report leaked by the company. It is not by the company, but it was breached and taken up by hackers. So in both these cases, we have one similarity. One similarity that I could find here is data. So data, which is an important source, causes when there is a breach of it, that there are major threats happening. So here the loss is data. So that is why I define threat to be anything that affects or causes a loss is threat. So data threats are the thing that we are going to deal furthermore deep. So what happens? So normally, keeping this examples aside, what happens to when a loss occurs? How does it affect purpose? In that case, I just want to know here how businesses are affected. So dealing with it, I'm so I'm so precise in bringing points that is like a data loss. As we have seen, it is a data loss. When the data loss occurs, there occurs a downtime. This downtime occurs which is directly proportionate to loss in the business or putting the business down. So this is how the connectivity between a data loss, the downtime, and the business going out of the market happens. So how things move, it is what we are going to deal with in the next slide. Okay. So as seen in the picture here, the reputation damage or the economic loss and the legal ramifications are hand in hand. This is a cyclic process. When, for example, let me consider when a data of a business is affected. Normally, it is the data of the consumers, the end users will be breached. In that case, there occurs an reputation damage. Once the reputation goes off, you'll lead to an economic loss. When an economic loss happen, that also lead to a legal ramifications, or the either way. if it is going to be an economic loss, it will damage your reputation of the company and also leading to you to legal ramifications. So it is a cyclic process. We can't say where is actually the starting point. So it is an adverse effect when there occurs a data loss, which literally forms you or put you in a stage where you will have a downtime that leads you to a loss of a business. So this is what the effects are, basic effects that occur. So these in the previous slide, to be summarized, I can put it as in 2018 these were the effects and these are the basic causes that makes a business to go off. But as said, what are the trends? What can be the, I mean, what are the things that we have predicted that could occur in 2019 than these? Now, one such things are the following. One, let me come to this misallocation of resources later, but initially I'll just start with increase in hacking and malware, because as seen from 2014 to 2018, the little rate of hacking and malware has increased to 66% as per the survey from IRTCA. So under this we can see that it is going to affect even the year of 2019 with a hard impact that would cause a hard impact. So, and then the new point added here is AI powered ransomware. So when I'm going to talk about this is something which is dealing with the newest technology that is in the market, where I can put it in this term. For example, I could consider an AI has been an weaponized ransomware attacks, where more aggravating costs that could lead to more devastations in any other forms. Once the AI reaches the end users, that is, when the technology moves on to the end users, there comes the cases of it being exploited at a higher rate. And this may lead to new machine learning models that will learn from defensive responses, exploiting no number of vulnerabilities faster than the defenders who could patch them up. So this, to be more intense, I can put it in this way. It is like intelligent targeting, where the machine learning models, which are capable of matching humans at drafting convincing emails, create thousands of malwares, loaded fake messages at much faster pace without tiring. This, at the right training of data about a target, it could constantly change the words in a phishing message. Till it finds the most effective combination, the victim into clicking anything or spending personal data will be different. So by going through your correspondence and learning how you communicate messages by artificial intelligence will easily bypass spam filters. Only way to protect is to add these type of machine intellects with the human intelligence. It is just a statement which was recently released by a newspaper, where they even claim that when an artificial intelligence is brought into an effect, this may also cause some problem or some losses of data at a higher run. So it is better that we have a checkpoints at equal stages, where you can have a check on all the data that are being targeted by AI. And later you have this identity thefts. So what is this identity theft? As said before, the Equifax data breach that happened in 2018 and all those British Airways hacking that happened in the same 2018 was this mask. It is like the hackers use the data of the consumers, where their identities like card details can be would be used by them for their own purpose, or they can encrypt those data and they can create a ransomware where problems like you have problems like your personal details have been uh, vulnerable, and they have been used by the hackers for their uh, uh, own benefits. So there comes an identity theft at that point. And as said by the term, this insider threats is normally because of your for example, it is like a phishing email that you get in your company. So when your employee or your team is not aware of the basic um, data protection topics or data protection concept, then there occurs these problems. It is like for example, the human errors like inability to find the existing loopholes where the data leaks happen, and the employees could fall for a phishing email, then logging into the public Wi-Fi with their device that could also steal their data, and not wiping the computer before they're going to sell it or handing over to someone, or sending credentials to a fellow employee over unencrypted networks. All these are the areas where an insider threat can occur. So these these are the data threats that is upcoming in 2019. And now I come to this misallocation of resources. This is like where the spending should be. So the misallocation of resources is a topic where it deals with it is not like see basically, and small and medium sized businesses don't invest much on large corporation purchases of their security needs. So for example, if higher corporates are going to invest much of their money in better security options, but still they can't check whether these resources that they have allotted for are working in a proper manner or what. So there should always be a proper allocation of resources. There should not be multiple resources which are not cared of. Oh, that is why we have meant it as misallocation of resources, which could also be a threat in 2019. So overall, these are all the threats. One is because of your allocation purpose, and one is because of the hacking which is from outside due to your vulnerable network or vulnerable space of your firm. And then there is an AI powered ransomware, because when you move on to an higher technology, when you are not aware of the technology that it can even read your minds, then this may also be a problem. Then you have your identity theft when your security is compromised, and you have also the insider threats, which all related by each other at one point. That is threats which can lead you to lose something for another. So now since we have seen what all the predictions that could happen in 2019, I would like to put a point to how to stay protected from all these types of threats. So here where the concept of BCDR comes in. Okay. So what is this BCDR? If this is going to be the question, it is the two terms that go hand in hand with each other by complementing each other. For example, if it is going to be business continuity and disaster recovery. So the threats can also be called as a disaster. So when you have a proper disaster recovery plan, then you can keep your business running continuously without any loss or without any downtime faced from your side. That's why I say when you have a proper DR, it goes with proper BC, and that is what we mention it here. So this slide gives you a much clear idea. And for example, if someone is going to ask me, why do I need a BCDR? So what are the things that I should know before setting up a BCDR? It is like, To keep your business alive in the market, in this competitive market of the globe, then you have to have a proper disaster recovery plan for your business. So once that is planned, that will keep your business continuing. It is like taking an insurance for your life. Same way you are taking an insurance for your data without any loss. The next slide is like, how should I frame my BCDR plan? So what all the points that should reflect on my mind before I'm going to select on this? Okay, in this I just should have some 4 important points that I posted here. One is to define the assets that are to be protected. For example, this DR plan, if it is this is going to cost you much, but in this case there should be a priority that you could set for. For example, what all assets are more important for you, those assets can be given a higher priority, and much of the other things can be given a low priority. Here where you systemize or customize your environment and make things that is more important for you. So once you are hit by the disaster, particular assets can make you live again. So that is what BCDR is. So you have to decide on the assets that the assets that you're going to keep it on a higher priority. Yes, and then you have this RPO and RTO. Okay, fine. Before that, I'll just say what is RPO. So it is recovery point objective, and then you have this RTO, your recovery time objective. So what is this recovery point objective? Before starting with recovery point, I'll just say what recovery time objective is. The recovery time objective is nothing but when a disaster strikes, how long you have to wait to bring back your business alive. When a disaster strike your business, so you have to go a downtime, you have to face a downtime. Then that, how long can you afford to be down once your organization goes down? So it is like when your business has shut down, so how long you allocate for time allocated for the down, being down, and then to come back. So that time is called as recovery time objective. And then you have this RPO, which is a recovery point objective. This is about how much data you lose or you can afford to lose when it dictates the allowable data loss. So the point here is nothing but when a disaster strikes, there is no point that you can't be more precise enough saying that when a disaster strikes. So it can be any time when it happens. The thing is, how can you prevent yourself from going down? So in that case, you should have a lesser RPO. So the lesser time, for example, if you set your RTO as 1 hour, you must be able to get your operations, that is, you should be able to get back to your business live within that 1 hour. Okay, if it is to be about 10 hours that you're going to get your business back, then you are lacking your business. You're losing your productive time for your business. So that is under this RTO. So you should keep an RTO which is much lesser. And as said, once this RTO comes in, then you also bring in the concept of RPO, where in this case, for example, you have a data to be backed up at every 7 p.m. and if your server goes down the next day at 6 p.m., this means that the data in the interim is irrecoverable. For example, only at the next day of 7 p.m. you'll have another data backup. So before that, it will take the previous day of data. So all other the 24 hours of data is being convinced because of the data loss. So always we recommend you to keep an RTO and RPO based on your requirement. So there are RPO and RTO which can be kept from seconds, and then that is what the technology of backup is also moving towards. For disaster recovery, there comes a concept of disaster recovery. It is like immediately that you can get your business back. So most of the businesses are trying for this. So it is always to keep your RPO and RTO at a recoverable date. And then here also the priority comes in, where for some datas that are more highly in a higher priority, you can keep RPO and RTO at an lesser rate, and then for low priority you can keep them to be in a higher rate of RPO and RTO. The next is the DR setup, that is your disaster recovery setup. Do you need one in this case? Yes, of course you need one. See, there should always be a primary copy of your data as well as a secondary copy that could be stored in some other location, so that when your location is hit by a natural disaster or an artificial one, you can immediately get back the data that you have stored it. For nowadays, you have a storage. It can be a storage like DAS, NAS, or it can be a better, it can be a storage like cloud. Even if you have a disaster in a location globally, I mean in a location for like in the case of Indonesia, if you have you had a disaster completely in that location, you can move on to a nearby state or an offshore area, and you can use that data from the cloud. So this is that is why we recommend always to have a DR setup away from your production site. And then yes, after you set up all these plan, it is compulsory that you have to have a test and a retest of the plan. So you can always have a check on it because you don't have to sweat too much at the time of disaster when you're though having a DR plan when it is not working at the time of disaster. So it is always better to conduct intervals of drills, like fire drill that is happening in your office. It is same like that. You could conduct some drills on the like testing and retesting the plan once and twice at regular intervals of time, at least a monthly once or 2 months once, so that it would keep you alive, and you can also have a check on it, and whenever you need some changes you can change it accordingly. So that is what is all about BCDR plan, and these are the steps that you should always have in your mind before planning for a BCDR plan. Yep. Okay. So having this, what would you ensure? Like it is like okay, after having a regular intervals of time, keeping my RPO and RTO at proper rates, and then setting up the priority levels for my assets, and all those will keep me up to date with my data, so that my data is always up to date. I have a clear idea of what things and how can I mean, even if a disaster strikes, I don't have to sweat too much at the point, and I can ensure the data is protected at each and every at each and every step, so that I keep them for example, even the data that have been stored in a far location or in cloud is kept protected without any hacking, even in that secondary copy. So that is why the data protection is ensured from keeping this BCDR plan alive. And then you also have a recoverability that is one which is going to keep your business in a continuous and a live mode in the market. Yeah, up to date. So this is what BCDR is, and this is what it could ensure. So the previous slides were all regarding the history of 2018 that happened, and then we had a prediction of what 2019 is going to be, and we had the data of the concept that's coming in, and then we have talked about the BCDR importance and what things to be set, and then you have what can be ensured, what we get from having a BCDR plan. And then for now I just come into how Vembu enters this field. Basically, being a backup vendor, we also started to concentrate on disaster recovery from the year of 2010. We started to push ourselves more towards a disaster recovery. So because I mean the concept where more the technology was more spreading and we predicted it, and there comes the concept of cloud at that time in the market. So our organization started to have a good team or teamwork who made a research on this field, and then we brought in the disaster recovery to be one of our strengthening part. So now Vembu to be the backup and a disaster recovery vendor. So, and next to the field, I'll just explain what Vembu provides. So Vembu is also known for its flagship product, Vembu BDR suite. So this is a product which encapsulate much other eight to yes, the 8 to 7 product features in it. So this BDR suite is supported on both physical, virtual, and cloud, uh, including SaaS backup, where you'll have technologies like CBT, and you'll have have a better scheduling policies. That is where your RPO and RTO enters in, and then you have instant recovery options. That is your disaster recovery, and then you have your migration. This is also your disaster recovery, where one part of your data, I mean the source fails, you can move on the data to another part and you can start using it. And then that is what these are the technologies that Vembu has been mastering now. And then you have this security point where we enter with an encryption of AE256 military grade type algorithm. We have a good space of compression with an Vembu Hive, and we have deduplication rate, and then we also provide a scale on demand basis. So this is for all the security purpose that we are providing. And you have a 3-tier backup verification test. This is even when it comes to an AA mode, this type of backup verification test has been important. So understanding the future technology, we have incorporated all these things in our product from the start. And then we have the VM replication. As said, this is also a type of replication process that we hold now. And we also have this backup data replication, either to an offsite or a cloud state. So this is what Vembu provides. And to be more precise enough, I have the products that Vembu offer for. The products that Vembu offer for. So as said, this Vembu BDR suite is one product which encapsulates 4 other product features into it. So one of that feature is your VM backup. So this VM backup is for all the backup and replication of your virtualized environment. It can be either VMware or Hyper-V or even a KVM host. And this image backup of Vembu is for your backup of all your physical Windows servers and all your desktops. And also you can provide you can also use your things for BMR, your bare metal recovery purpose. And you to back up for a granular backup, Vembu has come up with network backup, where you will have a backup of your files, folders, and applications at this point. And now coming to our offsite DR, as said, so this offsite DR and your cloud DR is going to be your DR options. For offsite DR, it is like replicating a primary copy of your data, backup data, to an offsite location that can be either your remote office or branch office, and make sure all these are within 60 miles of distance. And then you have your cloud DR, where you can replicate an additional copy of your backup data to the Vembu cloud. That's what Vembu has come up with. And this Vembu cloud resides in AWS instance. And then as said, these are the Vembu cloud services. Online backup, similar to network backup, it is a granular backup of your files, folders, and application, which will be residing directly into Vembu cloud. And then you have your SaaS backup, that is for backup of your Office 365 and Google apps. This is a cloud-based applications where it is backed up on the cloud, and it is also stored in the cloud. And you have this BDR 360, one centralized portal where you can manage all your servers from one endpoint. So this is what Vembu holds for you. And from now on, you'll be having a session on live demo, which will be handled by Nivas.
Thank you, Pranav. Indeed, that was a very informative session. So you gave a lot of information about the backup and disaster recovery plan. So okay, so I think it's a time for now to show how Vembu help the users to protect your business critical data. Okay, I'm just going to share my one of the machine where I have installed the Vembu BDR application so that you can get an understanding how Vembu BDR works in real. So yes, so this is one of my mission where I have installed the Vembu application. This is for test purpose. I have already installed it. So if you want to try Vembu, so it's very simple. So just go to vembu.com, and here you can see this download button. Just click on this download. It will take you to the page from where you can download the Vembu BDR application. So the applications are available for Windows and Linux. So yes, you can download from here. You can download the Windows from here, Windows setup from here. So if you want to try the Linux edition of Vembu BDR, or if you want to if you want to try out the virtual appliances that we have simplified for you, you can directly contact Vembu-Sales. So they will send the setups to you. Okay, so it's simple installation. Just download the product, install the product. So I have already installed it. It will create after installing this application, you will get a shortcut like this. So just click to open the application. So this is the dashboard of Vembu BDR. So it is a web-based console. So from this console itself, you can configure the backup for your virtual machines like VMware, Hyper-V, the physical machines of your physical machines. Like you can back up your Windows servers, workstations. You can back up your at image level, or you can back up the file level or application level. Okay, so to backup is very simple. Just click on backup. So here it will list out some options like VM. If you want to back up your VMware virtual machines, just click on VMware vSphere. Or if you want to back up your Hyper-V virtual machines, just click on this Hyper-V VMs. And for Microsoft Windows servers and workstations, just click on this Microsoft Windows. Yeah, from here itself, you can configure the backup for all these three, but only for the files and application, you just need to download the agent and install the agent, and you can configure the backups for it. Okay, so this is the primary backup. So apart from backup, Vembu is also offering replications. So you can replicate the virtual machines from one ESXi to another ESXi. So it's a live replication. The replication frequency is starting from 15 minutes. So whenever the changes are made, if some changes are made on the source machine, it will get replicated to every 15 minutes in the target one. If something went wrong, if something goes wrong with the source machine, you can just fail over the replicated one, and you can start working on it. So as of now, this VM replication is available only for VMware virtual machines. Soon you can expect it for Hyper-V virtual machines also. So I'll just show the failover and failback options. So if something goes wrong, so you can just instantly fail over the virtual machine. You can just switch the operations to the replicated virtual machine, and you can start working on it. Okay, and then if the source machine you made the source machine or your source machine is live again, then you can undo the failover. Or if the source machine is totally corrupted or destroyed, you can just make the replicated one as a permanent one, or you can fail it back to a different location or different hypervisor or different ESXi of your choice. Okay, or if so you fail back the replicated virtual machine. If something, if you don't want to run on that particular ESXi, you can undo the failback, or you can commit it to run on the particular host itself. And the last one is a file level recovery. So this allow you to recover the individual files and folders from the replicated machine. Instead of performing the failover, you can just granularly recover the individual files and folders from the replicated machine. And Vembu is also providing tape backup. If you want to archive a copy of backup to tape medias, yes, we are providing an options for it. And coming to recovery options, so I'm just going to show some of the recovery options. So I'll just take this one of my VMware backup as an example. So the first recovery option is a quick VM recovery. So this will allow you to instantly boot the backup data, so almost instantly. If something goes wrong, you can just click on this quick VM recovery and you can instantly boot the backup data and you can start working on it. And one important thing in this quick VM recovery, and one is not an important thing, is a unique feature of Vembu. So for example, if you're making some changes, so if the source machine goes down and you booted your backup data in this quick VM session and you're working on this quickly booted VM for some 2 or 3 days, so all the changes that you're making on this quick VM session will also be recorded. Okay, while going for the permanent recovery, you will get an option whether to include those changes, or if you don't need the changes that you made on this quick VM session, you can just ignore it. So this is one such unique recovery option in Vembu, the quick VM recovery, and the next one is the live recovery. So this is a permanent recovery which will copy the backup data and paste it on the ESXi data store and will create a new virtual machine there. And the next one is a file level recovery. This allow you to recover the individual files and folders. And the next one is the disk management mode. So this will attach the backup VMDK to your disk management. So when it is attached, you can just browse through the files and folders and you can recover the individual files and folders from there. And the next one is the disk level recovery. So this will allow you to attach the backup VMDK to another virtual machine of your choice. When you connect to that virtual machine, you can see a new VMDK attached there, and you can use that VMDK on from the target virtual machine. And the last one is again a unique recovery option from Vembu. So this option called download, which allow you to recover the backup data into multiple file formats. Like here you can see, so this is one of my VMware virtual machine, but I can download this backup data into other virtual file formats. Like I just select my recent timestamp and just select the virtual machine. Here you can see, even though this is my VMware virtual machine, I can download it on VHD, VMDK, VHDX, flat VMDK, and RAW. So this allow me to perform cross-platform migration. So if it is a VMware virtual machine, I can migrate it to Hyper-V or Hyper-V virtual machines to VMware or to any other hypervisor of your choice. Okay, and so this download option is also available for your physical machines. Okay, so you back to a physical machine. So you want to migrate this physical machine to virtualized environment. Yeah, then very simple. Go to download, select the recovery point, select the file format. If you are new to VMware or Hyper-V, just select the appropriate virtual file formats, download it, and you will be able to create a new virtual machine on your target hypervisor. Simple. And yeah. So coming to report, so we have all the fundamental reporting system with Vembu, and so here we created one more unique thing. So that is image integrity. So yes, so we do perform 3 kinds of check here. The first one, during the backup data transfer itself, we'll check the integrity of the backup data. Second, at every 24 hours, so you can alter this time accordingly. So by default, it's 24 hours. So every 24 hours, we'll try to mount the backup data. Okay, and when the backup data is successfully mounted, you will get a tick mark here. And after mounting the backup data, we'll try to boot the backup data in the background, so it will not affect your production performance. And whenever the machine is idle, we'll use that time to boot the backup data, and we'll try to capture the screenshot. Okay, from the screenshot and the mount check, you will be able to check the recoverability of the backup data, whether your backup data is recoverable or not. So yes, I will just show. So this let's take this VMware virtual machine. So it is mounted, and if you click on this boot status, yeah, it is a bootable. So I can rely on this backup data. And this machine, the mount check got failed, and I hopefully the boot check has also got failed. So from this, you can come to conclusion. So this machine is having, this backup data is having some problem. So just go to that backup and check whether what's happening with the backup, or else if something got corrupted, just delete the backup job, create new backup job. Yeah, or you can go and check the mission, the source mission which was being backed up. And so this is about the basic functionalities. And this VM replication will allow you to continue your business in the case of a small disaster. Okay, if in case of major disaster, we are providing option. Okay, we'll allow you to replicate a copy of backup data to an offset location. So yeah, this option, it's an offset copy. So you can replicate a copy of backup data to an offset uh, location, or you can replicate it to Vembu Cloud. So to enable this, just toggle this button that will allow you to enable this offset copy. Here you have two options. You can either go for Vembu Cloud DR, replicate a copy of backup data to Vembu Cloud. This is a hybrid, one copy at your local site and one copy at cloud. Okay, and for this you just need to sign up for the Vembu Cloud account and register your backup server with the cloud account. That's all. You're good to go. Or else if you have an offset location, if you want to replicate a copy of backup data to that offset location, it's again very simple. So like how you install Vembu BDR, in your offset location you need to install Vembu offset DR. Okay, and connect a storage to it and come to this backup server, click on Vembu offset DR, just enter the IP address of the machine where you have installed the Vembu offset DR. So these are some basic settings, just configure it and then click on save replication. So clicking on save replication will allow you to replicate all the backup data from this backup server to the offset DR server. If something goes wrong, if the backup server went down, or if your primary site went to any disaster like a fire accident or any hurricane or storm, no worries, you have the data replicated to an offset location. Just open the offset location. So this is one of my server in my offset location. So here you can see all the data from this backup server gets replicated here. Okay, at the time of disaster, just come here and click on recovery, click on restore. Here also you will see the same recovery option as that of the primary backup server. Just pick any one of the recovery option, boot your backup data and start working on it. Or else you can replicate to Vembu Cloud. So Vembu Cloud is again very simple. So this is a Vembu Cloud DR console. Here also you can see the restore option. Just click on restore. You will be able to download the backup data into multiple virtual file formats, so you can perform the file level recovery. Sooner we are going to introduce a cloud spin, so which allow you to spin the backup data as a virtual machine on a AWS as an instance, and you can start working on it. So these features are coming soon with Vembu. And yes, so these are the basic functionalities. So yeah, Vembu BDS Suite comes with 30 days of free trial. So just go to vembu.com and download the product and test it out in your environment. And yeah, so we are providing 24/7 support. If you need any assistance during the installation or during the evaluation, please feel free to reach us. So our engineers are just a phone call away. Okay, so that's the end of the live demonstration. And so I'm seeing a lot of questions coming to our thing. So one of our engineers trying to answer all the questions that are being raised by in the question box. So yes, so in this session we are not able to answer a lot of questions. No worries. So all your questions will be answered through an email. Okay. Yes, I just want to tell one more thing. So our team is coming to Seattle. So we are conducting a roadshow. So Vembu Roadshow Seattle. Our team is coming on March 14. So you can meet our team. So you can discuss about this threats or the upcoming threats in 2019, and you can discuss BCDR plan with our team members. Okay, and we want this meeting should be a very interactive and fun filled. So that's why the food, drinks, and the play cards are on us. So just register for the roadshow, meet our team, and enjoy and have fun with our team. And yes, so all the resistance after this session got over, you will get a recorded copy of this, and along with this we will try to send the registration links for this Vembu Roadshow. And in this webinar itself, we have handed over the data sheets for Vembu BDR suite you can just download from here. And yes, so this is the end of session. So yes, if you have any technical queries, you can contact our support at any time at vembu-support@vembu.com, or if you need to have any commercial queries, you can just drop a mail to vembu-sales@vembu.com. So we are providing 24/7 support. Okay, and yeah. So once again, I thank you all for joining this session, and thank you, Pranav. Thank you for that informative presentation. And yeah, so have a nice day. Bye.